Well, welcome back to my studio. I am working on a new piece now. This is a portrait, and I showed you a picture of the full piece at the beginning. I have gone ahead and painted the background with my sky color. The upper part is white plus cobalt blue. As we come down, it gets a little lighter, and this is a mixture of white plus phthalo blue. Now there's going to be palms behind Chet and Betty. I showed you a picture of them at the very beginning, and this was taken in Hawaii on their 50th anniversary. So now I'm going to start working on the palms, and I'm going to work on this one directly behind Betty first. And if you noticed in the original picture, it looks like that palm, the stalk is coming right out of her head. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to paint this one first, and then the one here to her, or to the right of her, and I'm going to let those fronds come up and over so it won't look like that's growing out of the top of her head. Now I'm using mixtures of phthalo blue plus cadmium orange plus cadmium yellow medium, and I can just, my background is wet, and I just go ahead and I just can drag these palm fronds into that wet background, and that gives me soft edges. And I've mixed I've mixed a lot of different mixtures in different proportions of those basic colors, and some are greener, some are bluer, and I just let these fronds just go softly back here behind her. Now again, these from this stalk are going to come up in front of this, so this won't appear to be coming out of her head. And you can see by painting this into the background that's wet, I can feather those edges and just remain soft, because I want my background just to remain very, very soft. And as you notice, I wipe my brush. Well, I'll tell you what, with this COVID-19 stuff, having to be very judicious with the toilet tissue I used for wiping my brush. I had some dear, dear friends yesterday come over. They had, and we stayed our 6-foot social distancing, but they went to Costco and they were actually able to get an extra couple of packages of toilet tissue, which they brought over to me. So I can paint. That's been my biggest thing, is will I be able to paint? So I just carry these fronds on out into that wet background, and that, you can see, just gives me soft edges. Now the perspective on this looks a little skewed because my camera's to the left of me, and so it's at an angle, so Chet looks much bigger than Betty at this point, but that is only because the camera's at an angle. And you can see, now I'm going to show you, I've drawn them in with my mud mixture plus liquid. And the mud is 2 parts of ultramarine blue and 1 part of alizarin crimson. And I mixed that in with liquid. And then I washed their faces in. That's not a perfect likeness. I just wanted to get the features of their faces established and some of the tones in there. But the main thing is that now, if say I come over and I get over my drawing, I can come back and erase with a clean brush, dipped in thinner, wiped out. I can take a clean brush and I can erase. So if I paint over my sketch, I don't lose it. But I still have that sketch as remaining, and so I can take that paint off of there. And see, then I get a nice smooth edge. And so that really makes it nice that I can erase, I can do that, and I don't lose my initial sketch. Now see how I can just soften these edges And I don't want any hard light and darks coming right into her head here. In the photograph, I want these palm fronds to be very, very soft, but I want variations within the color. And I can come, see, that one's too hard. I want that to be softer. So what I can do is just take a clean brush and pull over that. And I need a little bit bigger brush. It was too thin or too narrow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my background color. This is my cobalt blue plus white, and I'm just going to paint from the sky into that. And that softens that edge, and I don't have to worry about pulling that color into my sky. That keeps my sky clean. But you've got to clean your brush in between each time. So you can see why I go through a lot of toilet tissue. But I just paint from the sky into those. And see how that softens that? And that softens those palm fronds. Oh, I like that, yeah. Now I'm going to do that up here. I want to soften this one. See how I can just soften those edges? Because I want those to just be back there without drawing your attention. Soft edges recede, hard edges come forward, and so we'll have more detail and sharper edges on their faces, and that will bring them forward of the palms in the background. But this is how I'm going to paint all of these palms. A little bit of green in that stroke. So what I need to do is scrape that paint off, and I can do that with my painting knife. I'll just come in here and scrape that blue, that stroke I made that had a little bit of green in it. Come back, clean brush, clean paint. You have to really keep your brush clean. So that's how that works. I'll go ahead and finish out this tom. Now as this goes up, it starts catching a little light here. So I'm using a little bit lighter. Bring my stem. And I'll soften these strokes. Just pull these. Clean brush. So that gets that one. Okay, now I've pulled back a little bit. I've gone ahead, I've finished out my palm in here. Now I'm going to start working on the one over here. And I'm going to go ahead and put in my stock. I think I'm going to put this at a little different angle because I don't want them mirroring each other. So just going to kind of indicate my stalk there, or the spine, I guess, of the fronds. And now I'm going to start. These are going to be lighter mixtures. Let me make this a little bit lighter here. Add a little more white into my phthalo blue plus cadmium orange plus cadmium yellow medium plus white. And so these fronds then are going to come, and they're going to break over this one so that we don't have this spine coming out of Betty's head. Now I need to make them go a little different. And they'll be lighter so they stand out in front of that darker spine there, or the darker fronds. And we just then bring these in behind. And we'll still get some overlapping there, which gives the feeling of depth. That's why I want these to be lighter. Come in behind Betty. Again, these are painted wet into wet so that they have a nice flow. I want this one to be longer. Just get the feel of these just in Hawaii. You just hear the rustle of those palms. Gives a nice backdrop. The greens will be just a beautiful complement to the pinks and her skin tones. Chet's skin tones will be a little darker, more ruddy, I guess, more red. Betty was Irish, and so her skin tone's going to be a little different from his. This frond comes all the way down into the corner, and I'm going to let it start getting darker down here. Comes behind his hand. So that's how that works. I have a little bit of cleanup to do. Like right here, I've got a spot. I've saved my sky color, and I can just come back in and cover over those little spots. Put a little break there, a little break there. And then I can come back in and soften these. Just take my brush. We want to soften there. Just a little bit warmer tone here. There we go, yeah, that warm. That brings this forward of the frond behind there. And then we'll have the spine in here. This is a mixture of my mud plus a little cadmium orange, plus a little bit of white. I have a darker mixture here. It'll come down. I'm not sure how dark I want to get that. I just like this kind of settling back in. That lighter. So there we go. There's our palm fronds. And I thank you for watching my YouTube videos. Please subscribe to my channel and visit my blog where I show the complete step-by-step process of this painting as well as others I do. The link is in the description below. It's also, the address is on the final frame of my video. You just have a wonderful, wonderful day today. Happy painting and stay safe. Do your social distancing. So you have a great day and thanks again.